inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch, no. Real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Hey, ladies, what's good? Welcome back to the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. You got your girl, August Crenshaw, business/sale coach in the house, and yours truly, Ms. Peekaboo from Singapore. Say hey.
What's good, you guys? I'm over here, ready. I'm ready. She said emotional in the title, y'all, so I'm ready. Let's go talk about some emotions.
Especially considering the fact that is what you do. So
yes, ma'am.
This is the live recording for anybody that happens to chime in when it's published. Every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we record the podcast live so that you all can come in and join in the conversation. Put your 2 cents, your $2 or whatever is worth in that you have so that we can have a real discussion. Because, of course, we know that there is not just one point of view. I know my point of view can be potent sometimes. However, there is not just one point of view. So, anywho, I want to talk about this thing with emotions because I find that, a lot of times men are looked at as being shrewd. They climb to the top because they're emotionless and nothing bothers them and they're just strictly focused on business, which isn't true. But if we want to be sexist with the conversation, and if it is somewhat real, unfortunately, more often than not, they will suppress their emotions, though, and keep the main thing the main thing. Women, on the other hand, every time I turn around, we're just pissing each other off. We're offending each other. We making each other mad. And I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm going to be real honest with y'all. I literally almost lost a Facebook friend today that I don't even have any real beef with. But I'm not going to elaborate on my beef yet. I'm going to come back and explain it. I'm going to let you, say some things, Pika.
Awesome. Let me lead with this then. I've made some mistakes in my time. I have panicked and I've done things in a panic that I really shouldn't be doing. And I know everybody out there has done this, okay? Most of the time, we don't even ask for help until we're in a bind. We're already in a pickle. We can't figure it out. And now we want a coach to come fix everything. That's not how it works. But I know that feeling. So I want y'all to chime in. I'm going to put my foot in my mouth and tell you that I've done it. I'm hoping that y'all will, keep me company and keep me honest at the same time. But that's the whole point, right? So we're talking about emotional women. And when we're in business trying to do the best that we can, we make some stupid ass decisions because we're upset.
Really?
Stupid. We know better. If you came and asked us, what should I do? We will tell you the damn answer. We know the answer, but we still won't do it because we all caught up in our feelings and shit. So yeah, let's talk.
And that's real. And when we're emotional, one of the first things that dies is our ability to communicate effectively.
The next thing would be our logic.
Yeah.
We'll justify the hell out of some shit.
Yeah. And because your logic has you thinking what you're thinking, then you're going to fuck up the way that you're communicating. And so I'm going to give a non-client example, then I'll go into client examples. But I'm going to tell you why I almost lost a friend, because I was about to allow myself to be a victim of my emotions. And this is what I mean. Most of you all that know me and know me well know that there's one group of people that I work with very well, but I don't have a tendency to like working with. And that is anybody that is into healing, spirituality, and alternative modalities. Because you've heard me say that a lot of these people, they be woo-woo and they talk a lot of big, shit, but then they don't really live out what it is that they say. And that bothers me. And so I've had a couple of issues that have been dominoing over probably like the last 10 days. And so considering the fact that some of these people that I've had clashes with are in those modalities, what does my logic want to do? Automatically drive the hammer down on anybody that practice those types of arts, works, whatever you want to call the shit, and be upset with them. So today I put a post up on Facebook, and for those of you that follow me, you saw it. It had the big old wow emoji, and it says, women are great at creating justifiable excuses to quit. Now, what ended up happening is I had a dialogue with someone that I felt like I knew to a degree on Facebook, because we've had a lot of back and forth chit chatter for a couple of years now. But this is the reason why I was about to lose a Facebook friend, because my knee-jerk reaction was to delete and block her. Because y'all, I'm not like y'all. I love you, but if you piss me off or you do something crazy, I just get rid of your ass. That's just how I feel, okay? But I want you all to listen to this post, because so there's a message and there's a nugget to even gain in this. Oh yeah, somebody says they saw that. So the post says, she obviously doesn't realize what she's paying for. Recently, I had a group client say that they had to leave because they don't have time to participate on social media. Now, let me reframe this. I have taken my knowledge and put it in DWI, done with you format, so individuals who, quote unquote, can't afford one-to-one coaching can get access to the information they need. A major benefit of group coaching is feedback from other women to help guide you on the journey. Yes, communication done via video and post in a private group, but the business development knowledge is not reliant on being social. What should really be said is, I don't see the value in being here. That's cool.
Yep.
I'm distracted by life again, and I feel like it's time is being choked from me, which means I can't put the amount of effort I would like to, so I quit. My dream is taking a back seat to my life again. I was excited, but now I'm overwhelmed. Please help. I could go on, but you get the gist. I listen to women come with what they call good reasons, but they are justifiable excuses. When you immediately resolve to quit, parentheses, I'm sorry, I must put things on pause, as you would say, and you haven't explored all necessary options, that says a lot about you. Wrong. If she was reading this, she might say, I've explored all the options and it hurts so bad, but that is what I have to do. And I put big old capital letters with an explanation point. Wrong. It says the whole point of hiring a coach is leaning on them. She didn't reach out to have a discussion with the very woman who initially set her soul on fire. She finally found a coach who understood her unique business model and could guide her, and just like that, she is going to quit. So are you guilty? This behavior is why many entrepreneurs don't make it past year one. What is it going to be? Are you in it for the long haul? What justifiable excuse are you battling in your mind? Now, my first question before I go through the comments is, and the people that are watching, y'all know I get raw and I call shit out and I be starting stuff. Mm-hmm. Did that sound confrontational?
No, but if you're already guilty, that would seem like, oh, what you trying to say? What you trying to say? I'm going to justify because I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay. So let's look at the dialogue and let's see how much emotional shit is up in this, because a lot of y'all be beefing on Facebook, and a lot of the beef you should just let go. But let me also make sure I can see all comments, because Facebook be messing with me. So the comment was all women, ? Or just the ones you are frustrated with, ? Now, vibrationally, I know energetically, immediately I felt attacked. Even though I knew who this woman was, I was like, what the fuck? What kind of response is that to this post? You know what I'm saying? And so I just looked at it and I immediately, though, gave it a laughing face because something's off, right? And my response was, number one, I'm not frustrated. LOL, don't know where you get that from. Of course, it isn't all women. The appropriate word is disappointed. Her next, and then I said, I'm curious, what made you draw that conclusion? And then she goes on to justify it, but it's the last sentence, you guys. It's the last sentence that was the tall tale sign. And a lot of you energy worker, healing people always say shit like this at the end when things get thick in a conversation. She said, it was some of the narrative that led me there. That's bullshit. The narrative didn't lead you there. But anyway, it was the narrative that led me there. And it is, so she put the capital letters on is to emphasize it. It is frustrating in her experience. She said, in my experience, when people aren't being quite honest, it makes it hard for forward movement to occur. What triggered me a bit was the blanket statement. And I apologize. Now, no matter, she didn't apologize to me. Listen to what she apologized for. I apologize. I should have just not responded. It's Monday and I'm a bit grumpy. What the fuck? I mean, and I look at women sometimes and I'm like, did you really listen to the words that came out of your mouth? Have you really taken ownership for the emotional bullshit that you just threw into the conversation? But y'all know me. I'm not going to hold my tongue, but because I saw what was going on, now mind you, I'm emotional, right? Because of people in the industry like her that are always snappy and trying to tell you what you feeling, what you thinking. They always think this super spiritual shit that they do is the end all be all answer. So I get kind of frustrated with their ass sometimes, and that's just being fucking real. But my answer was still calm, but it was directing in her face. I want you all to get your nugget from that too. You guys got to learn how to be candid, stand your ground. You don't have to be an ass just to be forthcoming. But my response was, you responding is just fine. I don't expect people to always agree with me. I don't stand for being attacked. That is when I block, etc. But commenting is fine. I asked the question because I expected you to know better than that about me, because she's been following me for a while. So she sees me put these conversational pieces out there. But I expected you to know better than that about me. I put out raw statements all the time. This is no different than any other post. But I will say this. You cannot give me an emotion to feel. And it literally is one woman. It's assumption. You know, I said, because you asked if it's just the ones, like I'm just dealing with shit with all of my clients. So I said, I have dozens of other women who are all, capital all in. So to see this one walk away and we have barely just begun, it's sad because we had an extensive conversation about what she has to bring to the world. In my line of work, people come and go, and it is amazing for content. There's so much more you really don't understand about what I do and how I move, and God knows I won't try to explain. One last thing, your comment hit me as an attack, not a dialogue. So real talk on that note, I would say maybe you should have composed yourself before you responded. The whole conversation is about your triggers, not mine, when you truly examine it. It wasn't just the women word, but nevertheless, because we've been connected on Facebook and typically had decent combos, I gave you the benefit of the doubt and let you explain. And so after that, she says, so now she, unlike most people that I know, it took accountability immediately. She says, sorry, yes, I should have composed myself. I take ownership, and yes, I do know that about you too. I apologize. And then from there, it was like, hey, whatever you're going through, you know, love and light, practice what you know. None of us are perfect, but get your energy back on point. But see, but this kind of shit right here is what makes people say, yeah, I like her, but you know, I can't collaborate with her. You know, yeah, I like her, but I don't know if I want to work with her. And so at the moment when somebody could bless you or give you something, a lot of you all mess up relationships because your emotions are your guide and it doesn't make any sense professionally. because this woman knows how I run my business. We've been through book launches together. I bought her book off of GP just because I had so much respect for her and so on and so forth. But when we're feeling shit, you have to ask yourself, and I'm not saying that I'm innocent of never doing this, but how guilty are we of attacking people? Because if this is the way you are as a woman in business, you are not going to think that you're going to be this way in your personal life, and that bullshit is not going to come out in your professional life. Now, come on, who got something? Anitra, Pika, somebody, come on, let's talk about this.
As you were talking about this, and I mean, while you were saying it out loud, I went back to your post and I was reading along right along with you, and I kind of feel like it reminds me of this quote that says, "You can tell the measure of a man by the size of what knocks him over."
Ooh, okay.
Okay. And that's the old reason that I even teach emotional intelligence. Yeah, it's a buzzword, emotional intelligence. What I mean is you feel and then you think and then you act. You don't feel and then act and then think about it later and ask for forgiveness. You think about your action, what you want to do, and then you do it. So I feel like she was already some kind of upset. Whatever she saw on your post, she got offended. She thought you were talking about her maybe, and she decided to go ahead and just blurt it out, because there was a point in there where she said, I shouldn't have just commented. I know a lot of people who would have gone back and deleted the comment at all to save herself from but no, she wouldn't explain the whole thing. And then of course, yes, she came right back around and apologized for it. But imagine that ball of feeling basically that is in black and white now on Facebook, right? If she had thought about how she was feeling and taken a minute to sit in those feelings for a second and really thought about, well, why the hell am I so pissed off about this damn post? It might not even be about me. What is it about this that's pissing me off in the first place? She may have come away with a better knowledge of herself rather than trying to throw what she thinks was a dig at her back at you, only to have it thrown back at her again and then sit and feel super stupid. You know what I mean?
And the thing
so I wish people would learn that.
Yeah, and the thing about it is even though I know who she is on Facebook with the algorithm, I can count on one hand how many times I see her post now. She's one of those people that if I see her, it's love and respect. But I mean, and that's the thing, right? Everybody always think the post is about them. My clients be feeling like that sometimes. It's like, no, and a lot of times I may take fragments of something that happened with the client, but expound upon it because I know what is the outcome can look like. But it's about creating content. And so a lot of you all need to literally grow up and understand as business owners and those who have to write copy, that you need to understand that the way to communicate, what to communicate about the mindset and the triggers and what moves the people that need to be working with you, you see the shit every day. And a lot of you are wondering what to post, but you actually do get some of the best copy from the experiences that you are dealing with in that moment of time with your clients. And let me read Camille's comment right quick. She say, I say the instinctual reaction is the self-esteem reaction. You learn a lot about yourself in your initial response than in your calculated one.
Yep.
That's heavy, and so what I have found, and I'm one of those people where I'm very forthcoming, where if something happens, I can literally say to somebody, look, I got love and respect for what you do, but we have in a moment with communication. And so, I don't feel on, something's off. I don't feel connected, and I did recently say to somebody, I know that your intentions with what you want to communicate with me is good, but I want you to know, now this is a firm belief. I said, she wanted to talk about some things that were going on with me, but because of the way she presented the situation, I thought that she wanted to do one thing with me and she wanted to do another. I thought she wanted to do a session with me versus just talk about a little situation that I was dealing with technology. And so I responded based on what she put in black and white. And when I explained to her that I have a firm belief, so this is my belief system, number one, had nothing to do with her. If I never met her before, my belief system is that I received the revelation first, and then everything else after that is a confirmation. I have a problem with people that are always looking for a confirmation and then they justify revelation in their own spirit. And I said, so there are some things that, you may want to talk to me about, but I'm getting peace and closure and I keep getting all of this stuff that the divine is leading to me. So I need to sit in that and I need to let it register. That meant that whatever she brought to the table, if it was in sync with what was given to me, whether she took it deeper, went left, right, or whatever, that we would have been on the same page. But instead, she like, I don't want to talk to you about that kind of stuff no more. And I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? If that's how you feel. But the point is, she even made a comment when we were going back and forward, I'm a little bit vulnerable now. So why would you even make a decision on the type of communication that you would have with another sister that you respect while you're admitting that you're in a vulnerable state? Once again, do we listen to the things that we actually allow ourselves to say and the way that we respond? Because now I respect you as a person and what you may do is powerful, but anything that could have transpired, even if I'm not meant to be your client, I will never send referrals to you. Does that mean her business is going to die or some shit like that because August Crenshaw ain't sending her referrals? No, but what I'm saying is this is the seed that many of you all plant in your relationships. And if you plant these kind of seeds in your relationships, then collaborating is going to be difficult. I don't have a massive tribe, but my core following is with me because good, bad, or indifferent, my communication is like, look, I got to let you know this is emotional. I got to let you know this is intellectual. I got to let you know this is spiritual. And I lay it out all on the line because we don't have time to get caught up in emotional bullshit when we all still got to just move forward. Somebody, come on, raise your hand if you want to bring some feedback. I see somebody.
I'm waiting for someone to say something.
Yeah, and I know somebody else came on live with us too. But of course, I know some of y'all prefer to listen this way because you on the go and you maybe not on Facebook. But I'm definitely I'm inclined to really hear someone else's feedback. Marcia says, if you think it's all about you, it is. Work with it.
Whatever you believe is true, right? Whatever you believe. If you think you are the worst possible coach in the world, yeah, you're true. You're real. That's the truth, because that's how you're going to show up in everything. So I believe that your emotions play a major part in everything you do, but you have the choice to react or to respond. You can think about it a little bit and then decide what you want to do next instead of just flying off the cuff when you get a chance. I see Anitra jumped on.
Yeah, come on, Anitra, you beautiful. Give us some feedback, darling.
What's up?
I think from that conversation, it was like an emotional transference because you were in your feelings. That individual was in their feelings. They were trying to transfer it to you and make it about them. Make it that your comment was about them, and it wasn't. But they were going to transfer their anger or whatever was going on with them to you in that whole conversation. And it's kind of like, wait a minute, that's not what this is. It's not what's going on. So you came at me, like I be saying, you be coming at me sideways.
Yeah.
And that's not what was going on. So the fact that you were able to respond, and like you said, sometimes women, as being emotional, we can have a knee-jerk reaction and what's about to come out, because I've gotten to the point where I really think about what I'm going to say a little bit more, because sometimes I can just come out and it just be raw and just so bad, and I go back and be like, I could have said that in a better way. I could have handled that in a better way and still got my point across. Because there are times, when, like for me, when I'm truly, truly emotional, listen, my verbiage is very, let's say I use a lot of curse words. Like every other word would be a curse word. And that's how you can tell that my emotions have caught up with me. Now, when I think about it, I can cut you with my tongue without using not one curse word, just by how I come at you. And so, but emotionally, sometimes that knee-jerk reaction is like, let me think about this for a minute before I can get my point across without being completely an ass.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I'm human, right? So I'm not perfect. So this was like catch August on a good day. If this was 2 years ago, I would have been WTF all up and down that post. Whether I use a cuss word or not, she was gonna get it. I was gonna be like, oh, so what you really saying is this post triggered you, and so you feeling guilty and you slacking on your business and you got your justifiable excuses. I would have literally told her about herself. Whereas as a more mature person, it's like the post has already said some things. It's already triggered some stuff. And so, like I said, you know, that's one thing. The other thing is too, not saying this with this person in particular, but I do know that people troll me. And so not only do that you have pent up emotions, you know, about the shit that I've done and the shit that I've said. And so I don't really think people take the time out to realize that you never take the time to have initial conversations when something is bothering you. And some shit shouldn't bother you because you should, especially if you're a hardcore business owner, you understand that everybody has the right to own their truth. What I'm beginning to realize in the coaching arena, in the healing arena, in the entrepreneurial and development and mindset arena is that a lot of you all, you ain't no better than last days fire and brimstone preachers that lets you know that unless you believe in Jesus Christ, you're going to go to hell. Look, I know your spiritual systems work. I know Reiki heals. Yeah, I know that if you do these things with the charts, it's going to change some shit. But just because I don't tap into it or don't want to do it, that doesn't mean that what I'm doing is not equally and as beneficial. And, you know, so I see people saying, no, see, the only reason why you can't get through this is because you're dealing with this or you feel like this and you got to take this. And so people be so bent out of shape on what they believe that when you see another business owner present something else that you don't believe, instead of you realizing that whatever we believe truly is our truth, good, bad, or indifferent, and chucking and deuce and keeping on pushing, you guys have a tendency to want to entertain the negativity. If I see something that I don't agree with, I'll be like, oh, well, pass that up. But if I see something I agree with, I comment on it. If I keep seeing stuff that I don't agree with, the question is it a non-negotiable? Is it a core value? Does it make me feel some kind of way because I know that it's an absolute lie? Do I need to block you, unfollow you? But what I don't do is get into an emotional uproar and continue to collect enough data that I'm feeling some kind of way and I'm responding to people and I'm off. Because a lot of people, and I know me because I'm very active on social media, I hit triggers on a regular basis. But that's a part of my strategy because of the kind of coach that I am. And I would rather filter out all the dumb shit before I start working with people who have no intentions of really doing what they need to do. But let me read Camille's comment. She said, I think it's interesting how much credence we give to our emotion in other people. We typically address our emotional response to an issue as something wrong with the person toward us. But really, is that person really putting that much energy into us? And they're not, because I wasn't. But there was a lot of energy and heat that was coming towards me. And you guys want to know something else, and it's no disrespect to the individual. But if I didn't call her out and let her know that intuitively I felt her attacking me, what's the odds that she would have apologized for doing this shit? And if she didn't apologize for doing that shit, then how would I have possibly walked around, spent the rest of my day? I can't believe she did this shit. She responded to my post. Don't act like I'm making shit up, because I have clients come in my group all the time. They be like, oh my God, this person did this. They responded to this. How should I respond to this? You know, it is truly a muscle to not get offended and to be more circumspect when you start having conflicts with people, when you are expressing your value and people come on your post and they say something that is not, it's an opposite or a slant, and you want it to be 100% aligned. But that emotional BS is going to be the one thing that crucifies your business. And I'll say this, because I still don't see any hands coming up. I see your brain looks like it's thinking. I have this one client in my group. And when she came in the group, she's like, I'm on fire. Bring it to me. I was like, great. I was like, well, you need to do this first. If you don't do this, it's the cornerstone. Everything else you need to do. Wasn't even a weekend. Oh my God, I need to make some money in my business. I'm like, okay, sweetie, slow down. Because I can't help you with your products or anything else because you got all of this stuff. And if you don't laser focus on this one thing, which is my ideal client assignment, then I don't know how to help you market, you know, what it is that you have. And so then she calms down. Then she got excited again. It was like literally like every other week she came into the group crying.
Roller coaster.
Yeah, give her a point of clarity. She gets upset. And so at one point I literally just came in the group and I'm like, WTF? You know what I'm saying? You're an emotional hot mess. You talk all of this shit about being this type of woman and you're not being that type of woman. You know, you're not being authentic. The way you're showing up is all scatterbrained, and I'm going in hard. Now, of course, I come back and I'm like, you need to do this, and this, because I always believe that, quote unquote, when you tear down, you should build back up, because I'm not trying to beat anybody up. And she comes back into the group after she has her success and says, man, I did what you told me to do. This happened, this worked out. And then she said, but I want you to know that when you told me to do X, Y, and Z, and when you was doing your videos, I wanted to punch you in your throat, literally. Now, if I didn't have my mindset and me being sarcastic, I was like, yeah, but now you got the results that you want. So can I put a foot to your ass? And she wanted to put a fist to my throat. You know what I'm saying? Because it was never really about me. I had another client. I wasn't even in her group. She happened to be talking about a topic. And it seemed like every topic she was talking about, I was talking about the opposite side of it. She reached out to me and she's like, me and you need to have a discussion, because energetically we're not in the same place. And it doesn't seem like I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue going on this path with you. And I'm sitting there looking like, so you already, listen to me, y'all ladies, because this is the emotional shit that's going to fuck up your business. So there is a long-term, extended, trusted relationship that is proven with love, integrity, and respect, as well as strategy and financial benefit. And because we hit the first crossroad where coincidentally, where we don't line up 100%, you already letting me know that you're ready to jump ship and say, fuck working with me. And what was that going to benefit you? You already interviewed about 10 coaches. They might not have been that many, but I know for real, it's 4 or 5 before you started working with me. And I just looked at her comment. I was like, that's cool. You want to talk? Let me know. When people start talking like that, I thumbs up in short answers, because I'm not finna get into the middle of that shit with you. Then she comes back, like, because a bunch of other shit happened to her where she couldn't even talk to me. The smoke clears and she's like, man, I realize the only thing that matters is whether or not I believe what I teach, and my coach doesn't have to, believe it. And, I realized you wasn't even in my group. You didn't know this was happening. And I just need to let that shit go. And I said, but the thing about it is see, because I'm open and I know that there's more than one way. I do believe in what you believe in. And I do believe that what you do is true, but I also know that there are other people at different phases in their life that don't need what you necessarily delivering in that fashion. And so we're saying the same things, but because we're saying it differently, you decided to create something in your imagination that was a confrontation with someone who has loved you, been patient with you financially and all other kind of shit. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? So even though I'm not perfect, if I wasn't as emotionally stable as I am today, if that would have been a year ago, I would have been like, you know what, don't even worry about it. Shit, I'm going to put you out the group. Matter of fact, here's your fucking refund and keep it pushing. But because I know this type of emotional bullshit goes on with women, I let her stay in the group and I just let her process her shit. And the crazy thing is, at a weak point when she wasn't even expecting me, I reached out to her intuitively, because that's what the divine usually does with me and my clients. And who was there to hold her down when privately nobody knew what was going on with her? Mm. So then she had to go back and reconsider. And so you got to think about it. A lot of y'all petty. You hashtag petty as a motherfucker. Yes, put it all on there. Because as soon as you see that somebody doesn't agree 100% with you, oh, well, we can't talk, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to be involved, or I need to cut you off. And it's like, grow the fuck up. Like, for real, because it's not that serious. And so when it comes to religion, politics, coaching styles, all of this shit, what we have grown into is a society of people that don't know how to have a healthy dialogue when we don't agree 100%. And we can't all be right. It's always got to be my way or the highway. That's emotional bullshit. That will block you from being able to collaborate and have experiences with other people. Real fucking talk.
I want to jump in on there, because that is absolutely right. If you can't talk to somebody and come away with it's almost like tug of war. I'm going to pull a little bit to my side and you're going to pull a little bit to your side, but both of us get to say our piece and both of us get to experience what the other person is trying to share, right? It's not like the minute you open your mouth, I'm waiting for a minute to jump in and be like, oh no, but this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong, because only my way exists. If you think about it, that's very political, right? They're looking for a way to like throw you under the bus or smear campaign this and all this nonsense. Is not actually talking to understand the other person. It's talking to answer. And that's part of the reason that I teach what I teach, because I feel like every relationship is not just marriages, it's not parents, it's not just siblings, it's not just your coworkers. I feel like every relationship can be healed if you can actually have a conversation, which means both people participate, both people feel safe enough to say what's on their mind and come away with understanding the other person a little bit better. That's the point of a conversation, right? But imagine this too, like this other situation, right? If we as coaches were not working on our own mental health at the same time, anything that happens in our day could affect the kind of advice we give you. That fuck our business up too, right?
Yeah.
So let's say I had a shitty day and my daughter came home and she said that, her teacher got on her case about something, and it's trivial, it's not that bad, but she pitches a fit, and then she, somehow or another her teacher calls later on or whatever. If I'm already upset and I don't know how to process my emotions and understand what's actually going on and deal with it well, the next client call, the next person that crosses my path is going to catch it from me because I'm already feeling some kind of way. So can you imagine, forget all the, making bad decisions because you want money right now, or you're worried about, you lost a client, you replace a client right now. Imagine if you allowed everything around you to affect you to the point that the advice that comes out of your mouth is no longer objective, taking the other person's feelings into consideration, making sure that they receive the information that they need in that moment because you're asking you for help comes out properly. This is why boats sink, right? We let the negativity around us in.
Yeah. Absolutely. And what happens is with a lot of people, what you don't realize what you're doing is some people. So let's look at what this looks like. The moment that you are offended or you feel in some kind of way and a person crosses your path or it's a client and you need to police that thing, the average person just blow it out and then still says what they have to say. But if you got 2 seconds, think about it. When that person's pissed you off and you can pick up the phone and dial it right when you get ready to dial it, there's always that one little fleeting thought that says, I should just fucking let it go.
Is this necessary? Yep.
It's necessary. I don't need to call them. I don't need to say anything. And so what a lot of us do is we go and we sit somewhere and we brood over it. You're still thinking about it, and you will justifiably think your way into justifying what you have to say if you were trying to manipulate your stance or your presence so that you can justify giving the person the heat. But if the objective was to still give them the heat, whether you cussed them out, I see your hand, beautiful, or you didn't, if the objective was still to make sure that it's understood that you giving them the heat, you coming from the wrong angle. All of us have that moment to say yes or no, I am or I am not going to respond in this manner to this situation. So what is it about it that makes you say, oh, I got to say something, as opposed to saying, you know what? Because there's a lot of times I see certain things from my clients and they know that I see them, and I look and I don't even say shit. And I know sometimes they be like, damn, I know she saw the message. She ain't gonna say nothing. Because I know the way I'm feeling right now based on the shit you said and then listening to the other shit that you said after that I'm feeling some kind of way. And I need to own whether or not I'm feeling some kind of way or you pushing something off on me. I'm still responsible for my feelings. But then after, sometimes you got to go to sleep on shit. You know what I'm saying? And then bring it back. But most of us, we're not doing that. We are leading with our emotions, and it's going to fuck up your business.
Absolutely. And I want to jump in a second, but I see Lynn on here already. Come on, Lynn. What you got?
Come on, unmute. It's not letting me unmute you. See if you can unmute yourself, beautiful, and come on in.
Am I unmuted? Okay, because I'm driving.
Hey.
I just hit a button because I didn't want to take my eyes off the road. Okay, great. So I got on late. I'm not really sure what's being said, but I did hear emotions and energy and all that. So am I correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, so this is what I do, because we're all human. We all have lives. We all have things going on, and our circumstances and our environment and our children and our husbands and everybody that we come in contact with affect us in different ways depending on the day. Most days I'm really good, and I'm able to just like check myself. So what I do, I don't care if it's a post, I don't care if it's a conversation, I check myself to say, okay, so what is it about that post, or what is it about that conversation that got under my skin? Is it because I woke up late? Is it because I didn't have sex with my husband last night? Is it because, and I started checking out, like, what is it about that? Like, all she said was this. Or is this a dig to me? Or, because even when I see posts like that, because I know we all get digs and we all get those, what they call slugs or whatever. We get those, but you have to look at it and say, all right, I know that was towards me. I know that because I know I just had a conversation with this person. But I'm not going to say anything on Facebook or whatever. And I look at it, is the relationship with that client or with that person or with someone I'm trying to network, is it important to me? Is it one of those relationships that I want to continue to build and grow and foster and all that? Or is it just like an encounter that I had with this person? And I have to look and see if it's important. I'm going to talk to you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to send you a message, or if I have your number, I'm going to call you. But if it's not important, I'm not going to look at it because I'm not going to waste my energy. My energy can be placed on some other material I'm trying to put together, a retreat I'm trying to put together, or something else. I don't allow the negativity to stay in my body too long. Now, do I deal with negativity? Yes, we all do. But I have to check myself again to say, what is it about that makes you feel a certain way? Now, usually it's something that I have to fix within myself, like, hey, I haven't grown up from that, or I still allow people to push my buttons in whatever area. So it's on me. I usually never put it on the other person because I have control over me. And I think that's what other people need to start realizing. You have control over yourself. And it doesn't matter if I come on your post and I say, August, that's stupid. What you're saying is dumb. That doesn't work. Okay. That's your opinion. You can say whatever you want to say. However, will I let you disrespect me? No. I'm going to say, well, we all have other opinions and,
right.
Go on about your business. But I'm not going to, because like you said, people are trolling you, people are watching you. So you really need to look at the fact, who am I impacting by my energy, my negativity? Am I going to go back on that person and we're going to have this back and forth fight, tug of war? No. So all of that to say, check yourself.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Because you can't look at anybody else, because I don't know what you're going through, Pika. I don't know what you're going through, August. I don't know what's happening, and I may say a comment that's off-putting, not knowing what's going on with you because of whatever space I'm in. It's not right. Everybody's not always there to attack you or to do what. Just really, and who said it? Ice Cube, check yourself or you wreck yourself. That I mean, that's a funny song, but that is so true. If you start looking at yourself, then you need to shut up. Like, really just learn to shut up and see what needs to be said, because everything
process it.
All right, now I'm done.
But
I love it. I'm so glad.
Look, and Anitra, they got some a little something. Come on, bring it in. What's your response, Anitra Boo?
Okay, so I was sitting here listening to everything, and I was thinking, some business owners become people pleasers, right?
Yeah.
And I remember at a point in the very beginning of my business, I was a people pleaser, and I had this client, and she would be having a bad day. She would get on the phone with me, go through her bad day, and I'm sitting there like, okay, wait a minute, hold on. So there was one particular incident. She got on, and she was going off on me as though I had done something. And it made me step back and be like, okay, did I forget to do something? It made me question me and what I was doing. But then the next time we had a conversation, she did it again. And like I said, I was at a people pleaser point in my business in the very beginning, because she was one of my clients and I wanted to just give her as much love on her and everything. But in this particular conversation, what I told her was, okay, you're having a bad day. Call me back when you've got it together and we can talk. Because at that point, we had a couple of those, and I was like, you're trying to mess up my day. I'm
transferring.
No crazy energy mess with my day, and I have other people. And so what it did was it made me think back when I was in the military, and people would come in my office and they would start going off. And I'd be like, turn around, go back out the door, shut the door, knock on it, and then come back in when you're ready to have a conversation with me. Because you're going off on me and I ain't doing anything to you. I'm just not going to take your energy.
Yeah.
And so it's an emotional thing, yes, as women. But when you start firming up, especially as a business owner, there are some things that you will not tolerate. And somebody else's energy you will put a block on it and be like, hold up, I'm gonna need you to fix yourself and then come back. And when you're ready, okay, we good.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you're not finna come and throw your stuff on me. Not today, not tomorrow. But again, it was a muscle I had to learn, because as a people pleaser, it's a little bit harder to not soak up other people's energy, negative or otherwise,
Right.
and then start internalizing it as though it's something you've done when they're just having a bad day. You just happen to be the person that they talk to first, and you're getting all of it. So
Yep. And Tomasa chimed in. She said, emotions are deep-seated in the subconscious that we can't even see the root of where it all started. So if I'm triggered, I go and check with the part of me that is triggered. And right in line with what you said, Anitra, I really feel like I do that with my daughter too. Like, go fix your face and then come back and let's talk. Because she's so upset, she can't see what she's even saying. She doesn't even understand. But more than that, as business owners, if I'm going to make a decision, I need to check and make sure that if I wasn't so upset, would I make the same decision?
Right.
If I was, if everything was fine, if I didn't have a problem with money in the business, if I didn't have a problem with, the amount of clients that came in the business, would I still make the same decision? That's where it needs to come back to. I can't do something just because I feel some kind of way right now and then have to fix it on the back end because it was the wrong move in the first place. So when you say protect your energy, absolutely protect your energy from yourself too.
Yeah, and that's I think that's the biggest one. And once again, I'm not perfect. I'm human. But I know one thing with me, if energetically I realize that I'm feeling some kind of way, then most of the time I do go quiet. And I'm like, ooh, and the reason why I do it is because here's something that, and everybody may not agree with this, but here's something that I've observed. Whatever that thing is that gets you, that thing that you work so hard to be better at, that ability, that it doesn't disappear, and that little taste, that desire to do it also doesn't go away. So for me, my thing was verbal thrashings. Oh, so you gonna do what? You gonna talk to me some kind of way? Let me make sure that let you know that I'm not one to be trifled with. You know what I'm saying? And then I come out there and I got to make sure that I say what I have to say, because if I feel threatened, then the natural mechanism in me is to make sure that I say something back to that person to make sure that you feel equally or not even more so smaller. So even though I can say, oh yeah, I'm a much better person than I am today. I am, much more calmer, and, I don't do things like I used to. But the point is that at any given moment, that desire can still creep back up on me to make sure that since you're making me feel some kind of way, that I can hurt you. And a lot of you don't even realize, what is that killer instinct, what I'm saying, that you have. How do you have a tendency to lash out? What is your knee-jerk reaction? Are you the kind of person that you, like Anitra said, you begin to use colorful words? Do you internalize negative energy and it seeps out into your day, or the example that you gave, Pika, and then you end up, giving it to your clients? Does it end up, do you find that when you get angry, you are patient with everybody else, but then you take it out on the weakest ones in your house? You take it out on your kids. Is your weakness, for instance, another weakness with mine was that I was quick to sever relationships. Now, I'm still quick to sever bullshit, but I always love to give it the benefit of the doubt, like with the example I gave with the other client, when she was like, oh yeah, because I think I'm finna have to go. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna let her sit in her shit. If she comes back and she still feels that way, and she says she wants to talk about it, so ultimately, I'm still open for the conversation. But when she came back to full circle, she's like, wait a minute, this is the shit that was going on with me. This is what I was feeling. I'm making up something for you that really isn't there. Then it's cool. But guess what? We still talked about it. We still talked about the little seeds and the little roots that actually made that thing come up. And see, and that's the thing that most women lack. See, what you'll do is you only fix half of the issue. So now you do like Camille says, and what, you know, Anitra and Lynn and everybody else is saying, that you check your energy before you respond. But especially if you put whether you put something out there or not, but especially if you put something out there centered around an emotional situation, the vast majority of women do not go back to have the crucial conversations. And so a lot of relationships that could be repaired, or relationships that could bloom and blossom and expand don't. And so at the end of the day, as much as you think you handle shit, you still carrying that emotional bullshit, and you're not going to get where you're supposed to be going, because if you don't deal with it, and the point of confrontation, the point of conflict is where it also needs to be dealt with. When you don't do that, that says a lot about where you still need to grow. And that's real talk. Come on, Anitra, you got your hand up again. She like, I got plenty of feedback for y'all.
That's
Get it, Anitra.
because as I go back and I'm listening and I'm thinking about that particular client, we did have to have a conversation. And so I had the conversation with her, and the next time she was in a better mood. But what she told me was, she was like, I was getting ready to call you and I was upset. And she was like, but I thought about it. And I took it back because I remember the conversation where you basically put me out and said, when you got it together, come back. She was like, so instead of coming at you when I'm already emotional, I try to take care of myself first and then give you a call, as opposed to calling you when I'm all emotional and I'm mad about something that has absolutely nothing to do with the service that you're providing me. And I was like, thank you, because that's the conversation her and I had to have, so that she had growth and I had growth from the people pleaser persona of understanding, like, we are both business women and we both get emotional, but I'm not going to allow your emotions to dictate my day. And so I need you get it together, and then, but so ultimately having that conversation and being able to talk woman to woman is what made the change in our relationship, as just business wise and on a personal level, because I knew, sometimes you develop a relationship with your client and it gets a little bit more than just business. But see, I know how to draw the line between my professional and my personal. And so
and that's major.
That was kind of where it was trying to get murky for her, but not so much for me. And so that was one of the big things that I wanted to just share. Like, basically at the end of the day, we had that conversation and she made those changes for growth as well as I did.
But see, can you imagine if you hadn't put that boundary down? If you didn't know yourself well enough to protect yourself and say, hey, this is not cool. I'm setting the standard here. Mm-hmm. When you feel this way again, you need to think about this before you come back at me, so we can have a productive conversation going forward. Can you imagine, like, how many people out there don't even have that conversation with their kids, with their spouses, with their friends, with their clients? They can't even say that much, but that's what a conversation is meant to be like. This is what August has taught us. You are very clear with what you need, so that she can be very clear about what you need to do next.
And then the other part of that, to add to it, is that Anitra set that boundary. She explained where she stood, but that person was still allowed to be able to come back and give her feedback and to continue that dialogue. So what does it say about your emotional maturity when you completely cut the dialogue off? Because the funny thing is that, and I've seen it, right? That you're talking to a woman who has done multiple summits where I've collaborated with anywhere from 20 to 40 people at one time. So guess what the fuck happens? A lot of bullshit in relationships, a lot of uncomfortable conversations. And if I feel like they did something that offended me just because I come out there like, look, I'm not going to let you treat me this way, blah, 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 blah. And I don't allow them to actually register it and internalize it, and then to come back and say something to me, and I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Don't even worry about it. We just gonna finish this summit. It's a done deal. I'm cool. That's that bullshit. We're naturally emotionally equipped beings.
Absolutely.
And that means that you're practicing the art of suppression. You're still not dealing with the issue. And so that's why in the beginning we said there's two things that go. your logic and your communication skills when you allow emotions to get in the middle of how you actually handle relationships. When you take out all the emotional bullshit, what do you then do? How do you then respond? And so if we can begin to have dialogue around the things that bother us, because if I didn't do what I did with that woman on that post, where would we be right now? Like if I didn't say what I said to her, and I communicated everything, what I observed, what my expectations were from her, how it actually made me feel, how I felt attacked. And then she came back. And it wasn't just shut off, and it wasn't just shut down. Once again, I'm not saying I always do this perfectly, but if I didn't say what I said, then we wouldn't be looking at what the end of that conversation looks like, where it was like, I'm sending you love and light and a tongue of hugs, because she's obviously dealing with some big shit in a major way. And so now we use this for a dialogue, for a podcast. But that's water under the bridge. And so when I see a post, I'm like, I ain't liking shit by her no more. It ain't, it's none of that. Or, but y'all, social media beef is real. You know what I'm saying? It's really real. And so we be spending a lot of energy with bullshit on people that we don't even see physically, and half-ass deal with the relationships that we got in front of our face. So I think that it might be a good closing point to take Camille's comment. I saw it a minute ago. She said, who am I impacting with negativity? Because negativity is inherently selfish. That's what you really need to ask. If the root decision behind what you did came from the slightest bit of negativity, then what are you keeping from manifesting? What are you keeping from evolving or actually changing? That's what you should ask yourself. And as women, we always talk women run the world, and, we're Mother Earth, and, life comes from us, and, all the different things and all the shit that we say, ultimately, you got to say, well, if that's the case, we need to make sure we got our shit together, because everything is connected.
And we need to really try very hard not to meet the other person where they are. That is the sign of maturity. Emotional intelligence equates to maturity. That's all it is. Yeah. In its simplest form. So the reflective things for you all to think about, when you leave this podcast is, how are my emotions impacting my business? And this is one of those things where sometimes, I look at people sometimes and they so quick to answer, I don't have that problem. I don't have that problem. I don't have that problem. Then you know what? Take it 4-5 levels deeper, because there's a degree of that is still manifesting in some way. Mm-hmm. What does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Because whatever that thing is, it's showing up and it's going to stunt your growth. So emotionally, how well are you handling negativity? Are you really grounding yourself, or are you practicing the art of suppression? Are you really resolving conflict, or are you avoiding issues? That's a good one. Avoiding. Yeah. Are you opening up the space for collaborative, positive growth opportunities? Or are you closing yourself in and shutting yourself out and shutting yourself down when you thought you shut another motherfucker down? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so how do we go and how do we grow so that we come to a higher level in our communication and stop, as women, allowing our emotions to rule the way that we foster relationships, or better yet, fuck them up. Foster or fuck up. Yeah, that's your 2 F's. Yeah. You want to put 2 cents in? Oh, I think we covered it all. Like, honestly speaking, if you can't understand where you're coming from with whatever you're about to post, a lot of times I post when I'm upset because I want to prove a point. I want to, showcase that there is this situation going on. But if I can't check myself first, I have no business checking anybody else. If I can take inventory of my feelings and figure out where it's coming from first, I probably shouldn't do anything in that moment until I understand. Yeah. Because I will do more harm than actually good.
Absolutely. Well, there it is, y'all. That was an interesting one. We'll see what happens next week and what we bring to the table. Don't forget, if you guys ever have questions or you have certain topics or touchy issues that you want brought out, please let it be known.
Please.
We're going to discuss it all. And then for those of you all that are willing to deal with your bullshit in business, then guess what? You are welcome to come and join us and fix my business. You know, enrollment is always open, or at least it is at this point, for you all to come in there and learn what you need to learn about business, but also work on your mindset. And we also dig into some emotional shit too, in order to get you from where you are to where you need to be. So until next week, Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will see you live later, but the podcast will resume again on Wednesday. Thank you again, Pika, for being here.
Thank you.
And we gonna do, like I say, we gonna let her get some rest, y'all, because it's 3 o'clock in her world.
It is. It really is. Thank you so much, August. I really appreciate it. Y'all take care and plan to join us next week.
Yes.
It's more fun with people to play with.
It is. Oh, it gets juicy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we out of here. Deuces.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in